Welcome everybody to GoLocal Live. I'm Josh Fenton, CEO and co-founder. Little news before we go to our first interview. A lot of data starting to emerge. The head of the CDC has warned Americans that look out for a second wave during this winter. Very concerned about the crossover between the flu and the coronavirus hitting hospitals and healthcare infrastructure at the same time. That's number one. And if you think this is over, maybe the country that's had the most success at battling the coronavirus has been Germany. And Germany is opening up small stores now, but is also definitely taking action against long, bigger, outsourced events. And they've already canceled Oktoberfest, a major blow to the Munich area, about $1 billion in revenue to that section of Germany. So take a look at both those stories this morning. Potentially on the good news, the feds have approved on the Senate side almost $500 billion. Got to get used to these new numerical amounts of spends that the federal government now does. $500 billion in the next round of funding to go to the Payment Protection Plan. Senator Reid has some comments on that and whether or not enough protections been put in place to be able to ensure that small businesses get those money rather than the Ruth Chris steakhouses. On our schedule today is first up will be John Wolf from the San Miguel School. We'll go to him in 1 second. David Sirota, who was communications man for the Bernie Sanders campaign, former investigative reporter, very interesting guy, will join us at 11. 12 noon will be Dr. Michael Fine to give his updates. 1 o'clock, Governor Raimondo's briefing. Again, Governor Raimondo will not allow the press to directly ask her questions or follow-up questions while the public can view it. So that's the lineup today. Let's go to John Wolf at the San Miguel School. John, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a great honor.
Oh, no honor here. We're the ones getting honored. Listen, you guys have created an amazing thing. De La Salle brothers have created this school in Providence for middle school boys of need to really get them on the fast track to superior high school positioning and then hopefully on to college. Talk a little bit about the history of San Miguel.
Well, thank you very much. And just a note here that I've been told that I have a face for radio. And, and I'm about 25 years old before the quarantine started. So, we're in the midst of all this tough news, and I heard, your lead in, we're getting tough news every day and people are challenged all around the world right now. Our school has the lucky fortune and perspective of being able to look back to 1681, which was the foundation of the Lasallian schools. If you have that long view and a track record of survival and thriving, that's more than a few epidemics and a few world wars. We know we're going to get through the other side, and we'll get through it with hope and confidence and good humor also. Just to speak to your point, the key to our school is personal relationships. The foundation of Lasallian education is knowing your students really well and being able to serve their needs. And we are blessed to have teachers who get that, incredibly dedicated staff members, a board of directors, and a core of supporters who are they make our job at the school so easy because they believe in what we're doing, they believe in the boys and promoting opportunity for the boys, and they are incredible sources of strength during this challenging time.
De La Salle focuses on primarily inner city students, a lot of Latino boys, and the school's had tremendous success academically. Walk us through the academic successes.
Well, we're 27 years old. It always interests me when I meet someone in Providence that doesn't know that we are, who we are. But we're 27 years old. Brother Lawrence Goyette started the school on the south side of Providence. And he initially started it as a place for a great academic option, a great option for boys in 5th to 8th grade. And it's always stayed that way, 64 boys. We keep the classrooms very small. The sizes are 16 at most. And again, individual understanding of student learning needs. And then going back to the donors and supporters, making sure that we have the space and the tools and the training that we need to serve their needs well. We have over 350 graduates, and we made great strides over the last 27 years. Half of our guys actually attend LaSalle or St. Ray's with great financial support from those schools. And because they have been in a similar system here, and because the level of academic expectation is high here and there, we have very good success. And other of our guys go to Classical, Davies, places like Rocky Hill. We had our first graduate from Wheeler last year, and we have one at Portsmouth Abbey. So we expect a lot of our guys, behaviorally and academically, and we found that with encouragement and understanding of their learning needs and connection with their families, they usually rise to meet that challenge really well, and they're doing so in the virtual realm as well.
Yeah, talk about that. Listen, for any of us who have had middle school boys, coached middle school boys, we know that lion tamers have an easier job than middle school faculty. Now you've put them out of the building in that sort of environment, and they're back at home. How are you handling the distance learning, the online learning during this period of time?
Well, it's a great point. And having two boys of my own and been in middle school education for 20 years, if someone had told us, any of the educators out in the world right now, or people or parents, that this was going to be happening 100 days ago, that we'd be in this situation, everyone would have laughed and thought it nonsensical. The reality is that all parents and teachers have had to make a seismic shift in pedagogy and a growth in understanding in virtual remote learning over the last 50 days. So everybody's on a steep learning curve. Our families have been awesome, and luckily, through the help of our supporters, we were able to send every boy home on the Friday of closure with a school-owned Chromebook that was connected to our network, and every boy was signed up for every class by the Monday following the closure on Google Classroom, which is the platform that we use. But you mentioned some of the challenge. Most of our families are working, in some cases, multiple jobs, and now in some cases out of work, usually multiple children in the home. So the one thing that really is challenging, I think, for all of us, other than getting used to the technology, is how do we help the families and the students make the learning environment at home as calm and as much as of a controlled environment as you can. And that's been a challenge. But families are doing a great job, and the teachers are working well with the students. And the boys, again, they've really risen to the occasion.
Listen, for middle class folks, we've got dedicated rooms for home offices or segregated dining rooms that we can set up and do work or do school work in homes, apartments primarily, that are lower income. There's a lot of people in those units, and there's no environment to get away from everybody else. That's got to be a significant challenge for your faculty to help those students.
It is, and most of us now know what Google Meets or Zoom parties are.
Yeah.
While schools we use Google Meets as a platform, and we've made a video optional on the student side. They can watch without having their image displayed. A lot of the boys like to have the video connection with their friends, and on occasion you'll see the challenge, because some of these guys are home with 2 or 3 younger siblings from age 2 to 5 to 6, and sometimes you see them scrambling in the background, and you can only imagine how much it multiplies the challenge for boys and their families.
Well, listen, we've done interviews recently from Bolzano, Italy, in which the woman we were interviewing's daughter decided to join in the conversation, and another one with Jennifer Lawless, the professor from University of Virginia, and her bulldog Viola decided to participate in the interview. So I think everybody's making exceptions for these slight interruptions, shall we say, or family sharing as well. John, what can the community do? Listen, this is a tough time. We had Courtney Nicolato on the other day talking about the tremendous need nonprofits have during this period of time. 240,000 Rhode Islanders are out of work. 240,000 out of a workforce of about 580,000, counting the gig workers on both of those statistics. What can those who have the ability to make some sacrifice and make a gift, what can they do to help San Miguel right now?
Thank you for asking. It's a great question. as you mentioned, and as we've stated all along, we've never strayed from our mission. We serve boys from economic challenge, and we don't waver. We don't take tuition above a small fee at the beginning of the year. And some of our families are newly out of work. In addition to the economic challenge we were facing earlier. So one thing that we have is called the Compassion Fund. And through our website, we'd love to have folks, even if if you think a $10 or $5 donation is too little, it's not for us. With the Compassion Fund, we're able, because of our close connection with families and students, to react quickly to need, especially as it regards the food need and in some cases, housing crisis. So if folks want to, and they're able to, even if it's $5 or $10, to be able to go to our website at sanmiguelprague.org, make sure to go to the Rhode Island San Miguel and not the one in D.C. or California.
Yeah, we don't want to give them money. Heck no, we want the one in Providence to get the money.
But if you go there and you give your gift, and if you want to say, you can put a tag on it, please put it to the Compassion Fund. We're going to be putting that money to work today. I mean, literally, we have people from local area churches who are stocking food bags that our grad support director and I will be delivering to families today to help to allay some of the challenge that folks are going to be facing for the foreseeable future. This is not, just like I said, we have a 1681 perspective. We're going to be here when this is over, but we know that this could go a while. So we're in this for the long haul with our boys and the families, and we'd love to have people along with us for the ride. So no gift is too small. We'd love to have you, and we're deeply grateful for all those folks that have been connected with us for 27 years.
I think you make a very, very important point. Yesterday, obviously, Governor Baker from Massachusetts announced that the school year de facto would not restart in buildings during the course of the year. Boston University is already forewarned that they may not be going back into the classrooms in Boston until January at the earliest. I think a lot of schools, both at the K through 12 and at the higher education level, are trying to meander their way through a decision-making matrix to be able to know when it's going to be safe for them to bring people back into classrooms and dormitories. And it may not be anytime soon. That's just a realization. That doesn't mean places like San Miguel don't have tremendous need to support the school, but even more so to be a little bit, correct me if I'm wrong, a network, that sort of fail-safe for families that were low income to begin when this crisis took place.
Yes, you're dead on. And it's funny because we've had some great supportive conversations with independent school leaders from the area. And San Miguel and Sophia Academy, for example, are two that are independent schools, but we're like unicorns because we really are not tuition driven. So in a strange way, we're in a growth business right now. Like there are going to be more students that need places like San Miguel in the years, in the near future. We're also thinking very aggressively and creatively about summer options. So we know the need is not going to drop in the summer. When we do get guidance from the governor and the health department, we're considering figuring out ways to keep the social distancing norms and keep boys safe, but to get them outside in a community connected to things like hiking or fishing or even robotics on the playground. As long as we can keep 6 feet and do it safely, we're thinking about all possible options.
Are you considering, listen, this is a tremendous disruption, but it's also a tremendous opportunity for innovation. Are you considering running the school year through the summer?
Yes. The boys don't want to hear that, and the teachers may not want to hear it, but the teachers I know are concerned about it. So I think the boys would have a bigger challenge. But there are no options that are off the table right now. We are in extraordinary times, and if we can, whatever we need to do to get through this successfully and to make the option the best it can be for the boys in the future, we'll do. As long as it's
Listen,
legal.
I'll throw in my 2 cents. I think it's great thinking. I think this is an opportunity for businesses, schools, government to innovate. And it wasn't deliberate, it was forced upon us, but it's an opportunity for people to forward think 5 years instantaneously. And in some strange way, we actually get the time to think about it and plan it forward. It's a really remarkable period of time. Listen, John Wolf, I want to really thank you. For those who can, please go to their website, the San Miguel School. We'll also post all the links to that fund to make a donation to the Compassion Fund. And please, if you can, if you have the resources to do so, please consider such an opportunity. John Wolf, thank you so much, and good luck with everything, and please stay safe.
Thank you, and thanks to all our supporters out there watching today. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. For everybody else, we'll see you back. We'll be back at 11 o'clock with David Sirota from the formerly of Bernie Sanders' campaign, a top advisor to the senator from Vermont, and then 12 noon, Dr. Fine, 1 o'clock, Governor Raimondo's briefing. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe.